It's the over-under report. Top 5 ads and draws from this past week in fantasy basketball. Coming up next on Beat the Odds. Don't go anywhere. Hello, sport fans. Welcome back to another episode of Beat the Odds. We're going to do the top 5 ads and drops on this week's over-under report. Brought to you by our good friends at Beat the Odds Card Breaks. Go check them out. They are a lot of fun. We are going to jump right in to the top 5 drops here. I got 2 guards, 2 forwards, and a center here for you. First up here for the Los Angeles Clippers, we have John Wall. 24 minutes per game last week. He had 12 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 1.5 blocks with his time on the floor here on 38% shooting and 83% from the line. He is now seeing some rather frequent load management games, so he's not playing in every game this week, which makes it very, very risky to have somebody like him on a squad because you don't know how much production you're going to get out of him for the week. And he's also in a timeshare with Reggie Jackson, so his minutes were already affected, so I don't see John Wall as being a comfortable option for me. At least going forward until he's off of load management here. Getting 12.6 assists is nice, but if you're only getting 2/3 of the games out of him here, I don't think that's worth it there for a week-to-week matchup. There's plenty of better options likely out on the waiver wire, which we'll get to here in a second. Next up, we have DeAnthony Melton for the Philadelphia 76ers. He's 67% owned, 24 minutes per game last week, 6 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists on 37% from the field, 50% off the line. He is not in the starting lineup currently. We have, of course, James Harden still rehabbing there, probably out for another few weeks. The idea was DeAnthony was going to be able to pick up some of those minutes. It just hasn't really seemed like that's the case here. Matisse Thybulle actually started ahead of him in the last game, and DeAnthony got 20 minutes off the bench. So that one's a bit of a risky play. I don't feel comfortable with him either. If he's getting 30 minutes per game regularly until James Harden gets back, that's one thing. But if he's not, then you're really counting on him being super productive in a low amount of minutes, and that's just a recipe for disaster. So I would probably consider dropping him if there's somebody that's hot on the waiver wire that you can replace him with. Next up for Sacramento, we have Harrison Barnes. 11 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal on 48% shooting from the field, 86 from the line, 31 minutes played. He's owned in 66% of Yahoo leagues. He is likely going to be losing more minutes down the road. A Sacramento team that's off to a decent start, but I don't see that keeping up over the course of the year. And he's definitely an underused fifth option. His shooting percentages are nice over the course of this past week, but if you're only getting 11 and 5 out of him, it's tough to be able to put that on your team there as well. So I don't think he is due for a positive regression here. I think this is kind of possibly the ceiling that you're going to see out of him this year. So again, if you've got somebody else out there that you're looking to jump in on, that might not be a bad idea to consider. Keegan Murray, of course, is the flashy pickup, the preseason pickup there for fantasy managers, and he's now getting some ample playing time, so I imagine that he's going to be getting the lion's share of the minutes for his development at the expense of Harrison Barnes. Okay, so next up we have Brandon Clark. 16 minutes per game, way too low. 56% owned, 9 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 57% from the field, 69% from the line. This one's easy, guys. If you're holding on to him, what are you doing? Triple J looks like he could be returning this week. He's not going to... Jaren Jackson Jr., is not going to be picking up a bunch of minutes off the bat. I imagine they're going to be easing him in pretty slowly. But those minutes, of course, are going to have to be pulled from somewhere. And Sandy Aldama and Brandon Clark are the prime beneficiaries of reduced minutes and Clark's already only getting 16. So I don't know why he's owned in 56% of leagues. I imagine by the time Triple J returns, Brandon Clark's ownership will be below 50%. Last on the list for drops here, Chris Boucher, Toronto Raptor. 10 points, 7 rebounds, 1 steal last week in 24 minutes here. 39% from the field, 71% from the line. Currently owned in 52% of Yahoo leagues. He is a short-term add while Siakam and Achua recover from their injuries. The issue with him, of course, is inconsistent minutes and production. He hasn't really been a steady source of offense for Toronto. He has shown flashes for sure. He had a game with 20 points. Recently, he had a game with, I think it was almost 30 minutes played, but he shot 6 for 17 from the floor. So you got to take the good with the bad with Chris Boucher. I still see him as some value here in the short term, but certainly not somebody you want to hang on to, especially when the other two bigs make their way back into the lineup. All right, for the top 5 ads, we have Cameron Payne for the Phoenix Suns, currently owned in 39% of leagues. Last week, he trotted out 20 points per game, 4 rebounds, 6 assists on 48% from the field, 83% from the line, and 33 minutes per game. Those minutes are solely because CP3 is out. So he's a short-term ad in that sense as well. Similar to Chris Boucher. Put him in there, see how he does. But as soon as CP3 is back in the lineup here, if Cameron Payne drops below 20 minutes, he's a definite drop candidate. He has been shooting the lights out this past week here, so he may make his way into some more minutes, might see some time alongside Chris Paul. But as it stands right now, he's an excellent ad for when CP3 is out. But once he comes back, play close attention to see exactly what his minutes do. And if he's not getting enough minutes there, I would consider dropping him at that point. But for now, he's on my ad list. Put him in your lineups for the short term and see what happens. Next up, we have Malik Beasley. He is the owner of 17 points a game, 5 rebounds, 5 3-pointers made, and a steal. 51% from the field, 100% from the line, 27 minutes played. He's starting to carve out a bit of a role here for the Utah Jazz and kind of eating into Colin Sexton's minutes here as well. Certainly producing at a really high clip here over the course of this past week. And of course, for those who have been Malik Beasley fans in the past, he can certainly score in bunches. So if he's going to be getting minutes like this here, he's certainly worth a look for your fantasy basketball team. Next up, we have a player from the Chicago Bulls that I really think is going to do well here for the long term for your squad. Patrick Williams. 10 points, 5 rebounds, 2 blocks, 54% from the field, 100% from the line, 27 minutes per game. His minutes are going up. He is elite, borderline elite with the defensive stats with your steals and blocks, and he's getting more offense in this on this Chicago team here. And of course, he's more of a 3-and-D type of guy, so he's gonna be able to hit your 3-pointer. So he can chip in kind of everywhere, maybe not quite so much on assists here, but on almost every other stat, he can be a positive for your squad here over the course of the season. So if he's out there, again, take a look, see if he fits into your squad. If you in the need of blocks, if you're in need for some blocks on your team, he would be a good source of blocks to take a look at for sure. Next up is a bit of a stash pick here. We talked about him here last week. We're going to bring him back up again here this week. Isaiah Jackson sitting at 48% owned, 20 minutes per game last week. So he's not really getting the minutes yet. 10 points, 7 rebounds, 1 block, 86% from the field, which is of course unsustainable. 78% from the line. If Turner gets injured or most likely traded, he is going to be a productive energy big and a plus for you in blocks. Certainly somebody, if you're in a points league, he's somebody that I would pick up and stash and see how that all plays out here. For your head-to-head leagues, it's a little bit more risky because you do need him to be productive in the short term. But even with 20 minutes, he's putting up low-end center stats, so you may still be able to use a guy like him coming off the type of week especially that he has had here this past week. And last but not least, we have Mason Plumley, 48% own. He was a double-double average last week, 11 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists. 64% from the field, 63% from the line, 33 minutes per game. There's no reason why Mason Plumley should be below 50% at this point. Go and get him. Don't even think twice. He's getting the minutes. He's not going to be a big-time scorer for your squad, but he is certainly going to be able to rack up the rebounds. And the assists are not abnormal. He has been known as a solid passing big here in the past. Maybe not quite so much 5 assists per game, but he should be pretty good for at least 3, more often than not. So, as mentioned there, make sure if he's in the waiver wire that he becomes a fixture on your team here. And I think he's likely going to stay with your team for the remainder of the season based on the production that you're seeing off of him right now. And that does it here for the over-under report. I hope you guys enjoyed this here. If you did, please leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this here, and make sure to hit that notification bell so that way you can be notified whenever we post. If you would like to leave a comment as well as to who you want to see in a future video, I can do the research and put them in there for you, and I'll give you a shout out here as well. But that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to sign off for now, but we are going to catch you guys on our next episode.